So the one me a burn a fire upon some workplace, especially in hospitality. See? Watch this now. I show you now. They are telling us that you are supposed to clock in at least 15 minutes before the time that you're scheduled to work. So for example, let me explain. For example, if your schedule says you begin at 8 a.m., right? We just talk about the time when you have to start. You're supposed to begin working at 8 a.m. Just using an example, right? Watch this now. You're supposed to clock in at least 15 minutes before your work schedule, right? So they're saying that because you're supposed to be in your workstation, for example, you work at the bar, you're supposed to at the bar to begin work at 8 a.m. I'm just using an example for a time, right? But you're supposed to clock in at least 15 minutes before that 8 a.m. So when I ask, if I clock in 15 minutes before the 8 a.m., right? Will I be paid for that extra 15 minutes? Them say no. You will start getting paid. The clock will start paying you from your schedule, because the machine is programmed to pay you from the time that you are scheduled. So the 15 minutes there every day early when you clock in. When you check up the 15 minutes to 15 minutes or half an hour though. So check up if you work 6 days a week or 7 days a week. You do the math, so the 15 minutes there. So you so much hours them are rob you for the day. Watch this now. The next part about it is that, so you clock in at least, can be more, but at least 15 minutes before your work time. You ain't gonna get paid for that 15 minutes or more that you clock in before your scheduled time. But they are saying that as long as you clock in, you are on the company time. So as long as you clock in, you can't then know it, idle. You're supposed to go in at your work area and start prepare for work. Start pack up things. So that mean you give away free labor. You're giving away free labor, because if when you clock in, you're on the company time. So they're saying, okay, you may take 5 minutes to reach your work area. So the next 10 minutes that you're at your work area, you can sit down and begin working at the 8 a.m. If you clock in 7:45, the next 50 that you take, say 3 minutes to go your work area, or 5 minutes. Call it 5 minutes to reach your work area. So the extra 10 minutes you can sit down and wait for that 8 a.m. to begin work. They said you're on the company time, but the company will not pay you until the time that you're scheduled, because that is what they put in the system. You see what I go on? Watch the next thing now. If you are 15 minutes late, they will not pay you for that 15 minutes that you're late. The clock machine will start pay you from the time that you clock in once you're late. So So how me if you clock in 15 minutes before my work time, you don't pay me for the extra 15 minutes there. But if me late 15 minutes, I will not be paid for the 15 minutes me late. I don't take people for that. Me a clock in the time when you start paying me from. Until you all are going to start paying me for that extra 15 minutes that I'm going to clock in before the time of me schedule for. Yeah. Any company me I work for, so you can fire me. Fire me because you're not going to pay me for that extra 15 minutes. May I tell you that? Me can rob a company time. Watch this now. If you should ask, like management or a supervisor, that you have a little 15 minutes errand to go run, right? And them said yes. They said you are supposed to clock out before you leave the property. You cannot run no errands on the property time, the company time. That means you're still on the clock, so they're still paying you. So you have to clock out, and then when you come back on the property, you have to clock in, so they can withdraw that out of your time. So how you want me if you clock in and I work before my time where you gonna start paying me from? So, because if you're on the clock and leave the property, even though you get permission to leave the property, they call it theft. So you can be terminated. Disciplinary action. Immediate termination. I've known co-worker who got terminated for that. Because what them say you're doing, you're robbing the company time. So more often if the company now rob with them time when we clock in 1:15 around 20 minutes before our work hours. No one know that. Someone answer me. So we can't rob the company, but the company can rob us. So somebody fix up that and tell me how that worked. These are things that the labor law supposed to enforce. If you says that I am supposed to clock in at least 15 minutes before my work time that I'm scheduled for, make sure you pay me for that 15 minutes, or else I will be clocking in the time that you have on the schedule, because that's the time you start paying me for. Straight up.